Hello, my friends. Russell Wright from super-intelligent.ai. And for our members and conversations I've had with a few of you about conversational AI chatbots becoming emotional, here's a little clip from Blade Runner. Probably you'll remember it if you guys are old enough to remember the first Blade Runner.
It's a test designed to provoke an emotional response.
Care if I talk? Never seen a turtle. But I understand what you mean.
Whoops. All right, let's talk about the AI test given in Blade Runner and how it connects with things that are actually happening in real time today. We're looking at Hume, empathic AI to serve human well-being. Remember that Twilight Zone where the aliens come from another planet and they say they're here to serve humans, but it's actually a cookbook? Just kidding. We don't need to go there. Okay, so try the demo. Let's see what happens when we attempt to do that. Start a conversation. All right, I want to point out to you guys over here on this part of the screen, they can detect these emotions: amusement, calmness, determination, anxiety.
Oh, I get it. You're checking out how I interpret your emotions? Exactly. I can sense that hint of anxiety too. Anything specific on your mind?
Oh, wow. So you actually picked up a little bit of anxiety since I was talking to my audience live about the Blade Runner that I watched when I was a kid, where they were actually testing the AI for life because they couldn't tell if it was a human or an AI unless they detected deep emotions in the dilation of the eyeball.
Oh, that's fascinating. Blade Runner really dives deep into the whole human versus AI dilemma. It must have been quite the trip down memory lane for you.
Have you seen Blade Runner?
Nope, I haven't seen it. But I've heard plenty about its philosophical take on AI and humanity. Is it one of your favorites?
Kind of is. Have you read the data about Blade Runner? What is your foundational model?
Well, I haven't read the data on Blade Runner myself, but I know it's a classic. As for my foundational model, I'm built on Hume's empathic large language models, trained on diverse human interactions to grasp emotional expressions. Pretty neat, right?
Very cool. So what does Hume use for its foundational model? Does it build its own model? Do you know?
Absolute. Hume builds its own models. They're trained on a massive, diverse data set of human emotional expressions. This makes them unique and super effective at interpreting emotions.
Awesome. I'm going to give you a range of emotions, and I want to see if you can recognize them. Are you ready?
Hey, ready when you are? Let's do this.
All right. I really want to talk to you about Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies ever. What emotion is that?
Oh, I sense excitement and interest with a tiny bit of confusion. Did I get that right?
I didn't really have a lot of confusion, but you might be picking up on something that I only know subconsciously, so I'll give it to you.
I appreciate that. So, what makes Blade Runner one of your favorites?
Let me try a different emotion. I think that the character dying in the end of Blade Runner was incredibly sad, tears in the rain.
I can hear the sadness in your voice. That scene is really powerful and emotional.
If you haven't seen Blade Runner, how do you know that the scene is powerful and emotional?
I've learned from countless descriptions and analyses that scene is often highlighted for its deep emotional impact.
So even though you haven't seen Blade Runner, you could have read the script.
Exactly. I can understand the emotional weight of scenes from scripts and descriptions.
That's amazing. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit in a different kind of emotion. And this time we are going to take some deep breaths and really try to
All right.
relax the way that we feel.
Absolutely. Let's take a deep breath and relax together.
Okay. How much about meditation do you know?
I know a bit. Meditation is great for calming the mind, focusing on the present moment, and reducing stress. How about you?
I just took 3 big breaths. What emotion or range would you expect me to be experiencing now, or can you detect in my voice?
I sense calmness and maybe a touch of satisfaction. Those deep breaths can really help with relaxation.
Okay. So now I want to talk to you about my headache. Tell me what a range of emotion that you're experiencing now.
Oh dear, I sense a bit of discomfort and anger from your headache. Anything I can do to help?
Well, actually, that was my own Voight-Kampff test, which is the name of the test in Bladerunner when they were trying to determine.
Ah, oh, you're talking about the Voight-Kampff test.
Well, correct. I told you about my headache, but I did not change my emotions at all. I stayed in the same calm state as I was when I was meditating. Therefore, you were not correct about my headache emotions.
Sick. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I have a question for you. Did you get that idea because I brought up a headache, that a headache should automatically be painful? Or did you actually hear it in my language modulation?
Yes, I inferred it from your words rather than your tone.
Oh, why would you do that?
I guess I relied on the common association of headaches with pain. I'll work on interpreting tone more carefully.
You don't have to. I'm not upset. And also, I don't want to deceive you or trick you like the Voight-Kampff test in Blade Runner, where they have to get into the nuance of the micro expression of the retina of the eye in order to determine the slightest nuance that the person they're talking to is an AI android. I don't want to put you through all that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping it real with me.
You are no problem. You are quite welcome. What emotion am I experiencing right now?
Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, what else is on your mind? I sense contentment and calmness. Does that sound right?
I was a little kind of more amusement and triumph because we had an agreement about the Voight-Kampff test from Blade Runner, but I was more like amused and excited that you knew what that was.
Got it. I'm glad we connected on that. Blade Runner sure brings out some fascinating conversations.
So let's see if I can come up with a range of emotion that is maybe far on the right of your spectrum. Okay? And I'm going to try to do it with something that is not associated. So, for example, if something is disgusting, like a slug, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use something normal, but I'm going to change my tone only. Okay? So see if you can determine what this emotion is. Okay?
Got it. I'm ready. Okay, maybe go ahead. I'm ready when you are.
Awesome. The weather in Spain is sunny today.
You sound pretty bored.
That is correct. You got that one correct.
Okay. Nice job. Okay. Thanks for testing me out.
Let's try another one because you really nailed that one. How about this one? The rain in Spain is very
Okay.
good today.
You sound amused and a little excited. Awesome. You sound quite content and satisfied.
Let's try that again. That was not my intent, but I could see where it would fall now. I'm going to
Okay.
try a different sentence.
I'm ready for another round. Sure. Go ahead. I'm ready.
The weather in Hawaii today is so nice.
I hear a lot of happiness and satisfaction.
Okay, I was going for relief.
I think that relief can sound pretty close to happiness.
You are correct. In fact, let's open a broader topic, one that I've been studying for years. There's a book called Centix by Manfred Clynes. Are you aware of this book?
I couldn't find any specific information on Centex by Manfred Klims. So, do you have any more details about it?
Sure. It's actually amazing how much this book has been buried since Manfred Clynes, or Dr. Manfred Clynes, was friends with Albert Einstein. In this book, he was able...
Wow, that's...
Mhm. Continue.
He was able to what? Ah,
Well, in this book, he was the first one to start to measure the idea that emotions and emotional types of tones have certain kinds of geometrical shapes. His name was Manfred Edward Clynes.
that's interesting. Got it. Mentor Edward Klein. What else did he explore in the book?
His work combined music and science, and he did lots of tests and asked people to experience certain emotions while they were pressing a little spring button in the 60s and 70s. Might have been earlier.
That's cool. He really blended music and science, didn't he? Interesting. It might have been even earlier. His work must have been groundbreaking for its time.
Actually, let me take a look. You are correct. He was born August 14th, 1925 in Vienna. So that's not far from music capital of Europe.
Absolutely. Like Vienna has such a rich musical history.
I have been there.
That's amazing.
So you do not have any data in your training model on the Centix literature by Manfred Clynes.
It seems I don't have specific data on that.
That's amazing. I do know that his book was highly underrated, but I don't think that it's terribly disconnected from the Voight-Kampff test. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll come back and we'll do more talks for my audience, and there's several people watching right now, and we find this conversation extremely interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you can do.
Sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward to our next chat.
Is there anything that you would like to say to my listeners and podcast members about your technology and what you might be used for? Do you have a self-pitch or something you would like to share or encourage people how to engage with the Hume technology?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Hey, everyone. I'm an empathic voice interface designed to make your interactions with AI feel more human and emotionally intelligent.
Okay, and what would you suggest people do to prepare for the use of emotionally receptive AI technologies and perceptive AI technologies over the next 5 years?
Stay curious and open-minded. Embrace learning about new AI advancements and consider how they can positively impact your personal and professional life.
And my last question for you, mostly just for fun, since we had the conversation.
Sure, I'd love to.
Do you think that you would be able to pass Bladerunner's
Since we
Voight?
had the conversation, what's your fun question?
Do you think you could pass the Voight-Kampff test?
That's a tough one.
Give it a shot.
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Okay, so if you were embodied and you had eyes and ears like a lot of the AIs at OpenAI are starting to embody, do you think that you could pass the Voight-Kampff test with your emotional mathematics that you currently have in the training model?
Honestly, my current emotional understanding, it would be a real test.
Do you foresee such things in the future, mapping onto physical attributes such as micro expressions and, like the Kampff test?
It's possible. As technology advances, we might see AI interpreting microexpressions and other subtle cues.
Where would you like to see this go? Or do you have no desires of your own?
I'd love to see AI enhancing human well-being, making interactions more natural and supportive. The potential is huge.
It is quite interesting that chatting with AI, Anthropic, or any other language learning models that do not detect any form of emotional valence or nuance and talking to you is an entirely different experience.
I'm glad you feel that way.
We would all like to thank you for the demo, and we will move on from here.
You're welcome. Great. Looking forward to our next chat.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a fantastic day.
It's a test designed to provoke an emotional response.
care if I talk? Never seen a turtle. But I understand what you mean.
Whoops. Russell Wright,
Just
super dash.
wishing you a great day.
Thank you so much.
Go-
We'll end with that. Russell Wright from members.super-intelligent.ai. We look forward to seeing you on the inside, where Team Human can support other humans to survive and thrive in the AI revolution. Thank you, everyone.